So where we are is Wangi Falls. Here we're on a jungle forest walk. I'm just by myself, away from the falls. Gives a little sense of what this topography is like. Not much ground cover. Moist and wet, it looks like. Redundant. I'll just slowly go up through the canopies. Not terribly high, not terribly dense. I'm not sure what kind of rainforest this would be called. This area can flood fairly easily. You're not allowed to go swimming because of the potential of flooding during this wet season if there's a storm up on the plateau, which then fills swamp areas. In the swamp areas, water leaches down into the sedimentary volcanic plateau, and then in the form of springs gushes out into the creeks and so forth, and then falls off that plateau down into this lower area via the falls, and it can sometimes flood this area here. It's always fascinating that anything that happens in nature is creating microsystems of some sort. Wonder what kind of critters live in these fast flowing waters. This is the screw palm, and you can see how the fronds work their way around in a screw format, looking like that, and they're successively cut off. The strategy that I think they may use is that allows during a rain water to be trapped in positions located all the way around the stalk, so that as the heat may cause from the sun direction may cause water to evaporate, other areas still contain water. And this is another kind of palm that apparently looks like a soccer ball to me, design, but apparently has inside those kernels, when they get ripe and red, it has a nut, but the nut has to be ground up a bit and then leached with water for 11 days, I think it is, or 21 days, I'm not sure, before the poisons can be extracted from it, and they can then beat it into a powder and use it for flour for bread. There's a diagram of this escarpment that we're at the bottom of, actually. The older layers of sediment, whatever they were, pressed into sandstone, under pressure, blah blah blah, and then there's a fault line here, this side raised up on the fault line, and about 1400 million years ago, which is 1.4 billion, sediment was deposited over the quartzite when the area is again covered by a shallow sea, and they formed sandstone. Don't know what this was made out of then. Probably says somewhere, I don't see it. And because this was hard, this eroded, this first layer eroded out, and there was little erosions off of the sandstone capping, and that's what created the two different levels, and we're down in some area like down in here. This is the blue kookaburra. It has a laughing sound to it and is in the kingfisher family, as you can see if we can get a little bit better look at it. Only this doesn't necessarily have to live near water. It eats anything else. It's not necessarily water connected. And then there's the great kookaburra, or laughing kookaburra, which is bigger, lacks the blue, and I haven't heard yet, but has an even more curiously typical kookaburra laugh sound. First good description I've seen of the formation of arches. Forms across joint lines in sandstone with the water flowing along the joint line, encountering a particularly resistant block of rock. And then what it does is it erodes a course beneath that rock. It opens up a hole, and then that becomes the new track for the water, and then it creates the enlarged arch. For this Mitsubishi chassis as a holder of an RV unit. It's kind of fun to stand on this overlook. Just drop straight off. This is the creek that runs to the falls, dammed up here just to create some pretty little pools and fish in it. And it probably provides a series of water reservoirs that kind of keep the falls at least decorative all year long, although it appears enough water comes down here all the time to do that. It's a gentle place, a lovely place to camp if you could, but you can't. Park provides these barbecues, and these are the tables. You can either, it's interesting because you can either sit on them or eat on them or both. They do a lot with rock and cement in this way, and even their trails, where we might just put in rocks and try to maintain those rocks steps, they'll put in cement. Believe it or not, these ants, which have green bums on them, if you lick their bum, don't even ask, it tastes like lime. What perverted wacko found that out and discovered that, and which ones pursue it and why, I simply don't know. But there are an amazing number of ants, different color combinations here.
Very nice, Scott.